Hey guys, I have an idea for you today. Let's try to do this thing. Instead of focusing on how things are not working out for us in terms of insomnia recovery process, and instead let's focus on how things already work for us, how our body already supports us, how our body already does what it needs to do. And this is, I find that this is a key aspect in building our trust in our own body's ability to produce sleep. Because in reality, our body is the one that is responsible for a sleep job. We cannot consciously induce sleep. We cannot command ourselves to fall asleep in a certain time period and sleep for a particular number of hours, or sleep in a particular quality of those hours. We cannot do that, but this is the job that our body does on its own. And when we struggle with insomnia, we also lose trust in our body's ability to sleep. And therefore, since we don't trust our body, now we are starting to engage with all sorts of behavior to control sleep, to try to induce it with force, with pressure. We are starting to avoid certain experiences. And all this behavior contributes to the problem itself, because now we are exerting so much pressure on ourselves to sleep that sleep becomes elusive. It kind of like vanishes when we put so much emphasis and so much focus on it. So ultimately what we want to do is we want to outsource sleep job to our body, to make it not our business. We want to make it that our body will know what to do with this. Understandably, our trust during insomnia, especially in the first stages, is going to be very shaky. It might feel like we have no trust at all. This is really understandable and very common. I had absolutely no trust when I just started having insomnia, and sleep felt so unintuitive, even though before I could feel like that sleep was the only thing I could do. Yeah. So that's why when we start having trouble with sleep, there is a lot of frustration, a lot of despair, because we feel like we've lost this ability. In reality, our ability to sleep is not lost. It is just masked under the layer of fear of not being able to sleep. So the invitation here is to start noticing how our body already supports us. Maybe right now it's not something big, something what we want to see, but yet it's not completely nothing. Maybe if we feel like our body completely forgot how to fall asleep, we can start noticing from the brief moments when we are about to doze off, or maybe the moments when we remember a dream, or maybe our family member said that, oh, I heard you snoring, or maybe whatever that is, right? Any sign that points at possible sleep happening could be already taken as a sign that our body is probably doing something here. So we can take it as small as that right now we can find the evidence of our body doing its job. We can also start noticing that even though we might have a sleepless night, the next day we can still survive it. We can still do things in our life that we find meaningful. We can accomplish certain things, that it's not as disastrous as our brain paints it. So, and from these tiny things of collecting evidence that our body is more capable and more resilient than we think it is, we can start to be more comfortable with the idea of delegating our sleep to our own body and not trying to somehow control this process. And we might want to experience certain nights that would prove ourselves that our body can sleep. So for example, I remember like I would have certain conditions that I would set for myself. If only I could sleep more than I don't know, 5 hours, then I would know that my body can sleep. But since I haven't yet had this experience, I was very frustrated. I felt like, no, my body cannot sleep because it cannot produce, let's say, 8 hours sleep. And no matter how hard I tried to have this experience of 8 hours of sleep, I couldn't get it because simply I didn't have control over this outcome. But then it really helps to start noticing, okay, maybe right now the desired experience that I want to have is not yet here, but I can start noticing what's already here. Maybe there were nights when I slept longer than before. It's already a sign that since my body could produce this experience, that means that this experience can happen also in the future. And then gradually we are going to have some glimpses of improvement. Maybe some things are getting easier for us, and maybe after that we might again experience a speed bump, a setback. But we don't have to translate this as we had something and we lost it, and now we kind of like feel bad about losing it. But we can start looking at it as evidence that if this was possible for me to have one time, it means that this possibility is not off the table for me in the future. Now, the key here is to not insist that just because I had this experience which I liked, that it must keep happening from now on every single night, because again, we don't have control here. But what we can do is we can take this as a proof that our body is capable of producing this type of outcome as well. Now, we don't know when exactly it will happen again, but we are just allowing this possibility to exist there. We don't completely write it off from our lives. This is a part where many people misunderstand the acceptance part. When we are trying to accept whatever outcome there is, they usually feel like they only have to accept a bad outcome happening, but we can also start noticing that, oh, actually some nice outcome can happen too. I just don't have control over it, and I'm going to let the night unfold however it unfolds. So starting small is the way to build our trust and our ability to sleep. And whatever there is right now for us, any small thing that proves that our body is more capable, more resilient, stronger than we think it is, already can do so much more for our future trust in our own body ability to produce sleep.